And hello, welcome to Go for Lunch. Glad you could join us today. So today we're going to be talking about iOS 15.3. It's time to update. Now you probably have heard me say, don't update to a new operating system until it's a .3. So it's 15.3, so I am saying it's okay. Most of the major bugs have been squashed, so it's probably pretty safe to go ahead and jump in and take advantage of the new features of iOS 15, and we're going to talk about some of those today. So, this is Go for Lunch, number 91. My name is Roger Harmon. If you're new here, please type your new in the comments so we can get to know you and welcome you to our little community. And as always, our goal is to make technology work for you. So let's talk about iOS 15.3. Now, these features are not exclusive to 15.3. Some of them came out in earlier versions. Just a little disclaimer there. So let's start with the weather app. Now, there was once upon a time a weather app called Dark Sky, and Apple bought it. And people have been wondering when the features that were in Black Sky would be incorporated in the weather app. Well, some of those have been incorporated now. One of them is when you go to the weather app, you'll see in the background an indication of the current weather. Also, they have weather maps for rain, air quality, and temperature. So you can see through different maps what's happening with those particular meteorologic, something like that, conditions. And here's a nice feature. You can set up notifications to find out when the weather conditions are going to change, when it's going to rain, when it's going to stop raining. So that is pretty cool. So let's jump into our iPhone. And oh, look, I don't see the weather app. Whatever will I do? Well, let's just show you here what I'll do. So I will go to the center of the screen. I will swipe down and I can search. Now, since I searched for weather earlier, it's already there, but we'll pretend it's not there. And I would type in WE, and now it goes into the first position. So there we go. Now we're in the weather app. We'll switch back. So you can see it says it's mostly sunny, and the picture in the background, it looks like it's mostly sunny. Got little clouds out there. Doesn't look exactly like it does through my window, but it is close. So it also tells us some more specific information here. It says partly cloudy conditions from noon until 1500, and cloudy conditions expect at 1500. So now we go into the next little section down below here. You can see that at noon the cloud is covering the sun. That's partly cloudy, but at 1500 it clears up. Sunsets at 1757, and sunrise is at 7:17. So, but you can see it's been cloudy all during that time. In the next section down below here, we have the 10-day forecast. So you can see cloudy today, partly cloudy on Wednesday, and sunny every day through until next Wednesday. And then it shows the low temperatures, and it looks like Thursday it's going to be below freezing. 29 degrees as the low, 57 for the high. So that's kind of interesting. So the next section here, we have the air quality. So it says the air quality index is 49, which was similar to yesterday about this time. And down below here, we have the air quality map. So if we tap on that, it expands and shows us, I'm sorry, this is the temperature map. So here's the temperature map. So the lighter colors is higher temperatures. The bluish and the greenish colors are lower temperatures, as you would expect. Up in Flagstaff, Prescott, it's going to be lower. So how do we switch maps? Well, up in the upper right-hand corner, there's a little stack of squares there. When you tap on that, you can switch maps. So here's the precipitation map, and you'll notice at the bottom it gives you a 12-hour forecast. No rain coming to the area. So there's a little bit of rain down by Puerto Penasco there. It's very hard to see, and it's probably not even hitting the ground. And then we tap the little stack again, and we can look at air quality. Oh my goodness, look at the air quality in Phoenix. Who knew? Ooh, Casa Grande is not doing too well either. And down here in Nogales, the air quality is worse than here in Tucson. So that is the air quality map. So we click on Done, and we can scroll down here. I like the wind indicator. It's much better than it used to be, and it gives you more information. Humidity, pressure is dropping, 10 miles visibility, And then you see down here towards the bottom, turn on notifications. So if I click on here, it says allow location access. You'll need to give weather permission to use your location to get notifications about rain and snow near you. So we're going to say continue, and we're going to say change to always allow. Okay, so here's weather around my house. So that's good. So the weather app has got some nice features. Now, when I was setting up for this show, I got this message when I plugged in my iPhone after upgrading it to iOS 15.3. So be aware this is from Apple, and it's okay to click on install and get that updated. So let's talk about the clock app. Now there's not a lot of changes in the clock app, but I saw a couple things that maybe you don't know about that I thought I would highlight. So the clock app is on my home page up in the top left area. Tap on that, and here we are in the timer. So one thing is you can change the tone that comes on when the timer is complete. So that's a nice little feature. On the stopwatch, you may not know that there is an analog stopwatch. You see the two dots here in the center? If I swipe from right to left, nothing happens. Isn't that interesting? Let's start the watch and see if it makes a difference. Let's stop the watch and see if it makes a difference. There we go. Okay, so there's our analog stopwatch. So if you prefer the look of the analog stopwatch, you've got it. If you want to switch while it's going, you can swipe from left to right and get back to the digital. And of course you stop and you can reset. Another feature that you may not be aware of is with the world clock. When you click on the edit button in the upper left hand corner, on the right side you see these little hamburger menus, is what we usually call those, 3 horizontal lines. And so if you touch and hold those, you can move the cities into whatever order you want. So I did that to put them in order from west coast to the east. So that's kind of a neat little feature. So Safari had kind of some changes made to it. The URL field is now by default at the bottom. Now you can change this if you prefer to make it like it used to be when you go into settings for Safari, and it's called tabs in that settings screen. So let's look again at the iPhone. So here's Safari down in the dock on the bottom. And let's click on done to get out of there. Okay, so you can see at the very bottom here is the search field, also known as the URL field, also known as the tabs field. And there is a microphone icon right there, so you can dictate what you're looking for. So let me switch cameras here and show you how this works. So get that up there. So now if I just put my finger down here on the search field, I can move between web pages. So back and forth, right to left, left to right, doesn't matter. So that's kind of a nice feature. Another feature is when you click on the little squares superimposed over each other in the lower right hand corner, then you see the representation of the actual web page, whereas before you had the choice of a listing just a text listing of the web page. And if you turned it, it used to be, I think if you turned it into landscape, it changed to a representation of the page. Let's see, if we change it into landscape here, it just gives you a shorter representation of the page, but gives you more pages, so that could be helpful. So you can get a good idea of what's going on there. Direct your attention to the very bottom of the screen where it says 91 tabs, which means I have 91 pages in tabs open right now. And I tap on that. Let's try this again. There we go. Okay, so you notice here it says new empty tab group. So what I can do is I can create a group, a tab group, and then so like if I'm looking for maybe restaurants, I can put all the restaurant web pages or articles in that tab group and get to them all in one place. So that's a pretty nice little feature. So let's talk about maps. So there's more details to maps. I can see the shape of houses and buildings. You can take advantage of 3D images of landmarks in major cities, and they have flyover tours. So here we have maps in the lower left-hand corner. Okay, so let's look at downtown, for example. So here we're in downtown Tucson. There's the Tucson Convention Center. So we can see the outline of the building there. And there's the music hall and the Leo Rich Theater. So you can see as you scroll through the map, you can see all these different shapes, which may help you find what you're looking for. Also, up here you notice this these little circles with a horizontal line, kind of like a minus sign in them. That means that this road is closed. So this is 6th Avenue, and it is closed from Alameda almost to 6th Street. So they're giving you more traffic information on the maps. So if we move to San Francisco, for example, notice in the lower right hand corner it's giving you the weather conditions, sunny and 55 degrees. And if we kind of zoom in here by pinching out, let's go into the let's see, where's what I wanted to go look at here. Well, let's go to the Coit Tower. That's what I wanted to look at. So I'm zooming in, and now up here in the upper right above the compass it says 3D. So if I tap on 3D, and now I keep zooming in, I will see a three-dimensional representation of the Coit Tower. And I can rotate around that just using my fingers. So there's Telegraph Hill Boulevard. And then note in the lower left-hand corner, a little tiny icon that looks like binoculars. So if I tap on that, then I get the look around view. So if I move the binoculars with my finger, there I'm seeing the other side, looking out towards the bay, it looks like there. So that's a pretty neat feature. I can just move along here. There's the roundabout and parking area. Go into the park area here. So that's pretty interesting. And we'll go look at the Marconi Monument here maybe. Well, that's across the street. So it takes a little getting used to this. There we go. We're getting closer. So I'm just moving my finger, and the binoculars are going wherever they want to go. So that's fun. That's called look around, I believe. So if I click on done in the upper right hand corner, we go back out. So another thing we have here is, as we come back out and we go into 2D, and I guess I have to search for it again. So I'm going to search maps, go back to San Francisco, and now you notice down it tells us it takes 12 hours and 8 minutes to drive to San Francisco. And next to that it says flyover. So now we get a helicopter tour of San Francisco. On the bottom there in the blue it says start tour. So here we go. We're coming in over the water. Going to be looking at the Golden Gate Bridge. Got a little work to do here. It's going to pop in just a second. There's the Golden Gate Bridge. So you get an armchair tour of major cities and their landmarks. So if you have a hankering to travel again, this might satisfy it a little bit. We're flying over the city, looking at some of the piers. Got a freeway coming in, coming around. I'm guessing that's the Oakland Bridge. I'm not sure. And this is AT&T Park. The name will pop up here in a second. There it is at the bottom of the screen. And we fly off into another direction. So that's kind of fun. So give that a shot. Again, this only works in major cities. Tucson probably won't have this for a while. So let's talk about FaceTime. FaceTime is got a lot of interesting new features. One of them is called spatial audio. And the way spatial audio works is if you have a group of people on the screen and this person over here is talking, the sound is going to be coming from that area. And this person talks, so you get a spatial representation of where those people are located on the screen. There's a grid view, which gives you a different view. There's portrait mode, so you can have a blurred background. And there's also different microphone modes, so you can control your background noise. So if there's noise outside, there's somebody's running a leaf blower or something, then you can cut that out by going into a microphone mode that's going to cut out background noise. But if you want, like you're at a party and you want to have the ambient sound of the party in the background, then you can have that too. So this is really an interesting feature called Share Play. So what it does is it lets you watch Apple TV, listen to Apple Music, and share your screen. So as you see here on the right, these 4 people are all watching the Apple TV show Mythic Quest. So they can talk to each other and they can pause it, so it pauses at the same time for everybody. And so you can have a group watching section with SharePlay. And this will work on iPhone, iPad, and a Mac equipped with Monterey. Now, there are some apps that have already incorporated SharePlay because Apple made what they call an API, in other words, software that developers can use to add SharePlay to their apps. So right now, SharePlay is supported on Disney Plus, National Basketball Association, Masterclass, Redfin and Zillow Real Estate, Kahoot, which is a learning game app that you could share games with your kids or your grandkids, Hulu, HBO Max, Paramount Plus, Pluto TV, Twitch, and you can watch the game on ESPN with somebody that's not in your living room. So SharePlay is pretty interesting. Another very nice feature with SharePlay is you can now send an event link to people that are using Windows or Android devices, and they can join your FaceTime call. So no longer do you have to use Skype to talk to people that don't have an Apple device. You can invite them into a FaceTime call, and they need to be using a Chrome browser to make that work properly. So here's another interesting feature called live text. So if you see text in a picture, you can long press on the text. So you see here the center picture. They long pressed on this text, it got highlighted, and then in the third picture here, they pasted it into the Notes app. If it's a phone number, you can actually, you see a phone number on a sign and you want to call them, you can actually just press on that phone number and then call directly from that. So live text is pretty amazing stuff. But it requires an amazing iPhone, so you need to have a minimum of an iPhone XS, XR, something since 2018, or 2019 versions of the iPad Air, iPad Mini, 8th generation iPad, and of course the latest iPad Pros will also take advantage of this. There's something else you can do along these same lines, and that is if you have a picture of something, it could be a plant, an animal, or a landmark, and then you do a long press on that. You can see here in the right hand iPhone picture, it is trying to identify this as astably, I don't know how I pronounce that. And then you can see it has some similar images that it found on the web by comparing this. So this is the high power of the chips in the iPhone with machine learning and artificial intelligence making all of this magical stuff happen. So, do you have any questions? So while you're typing your questions into the comments, let me remind you that we just missed Data Privacy Week. That was last week, and I have put in the description below a couple of websites where you can take advantage of data privacy information. And some people think it's Groundhog Day, but it's really Gopher Day. It's something a lot of people aren't aware of. And so when the gopher comes out of his hole and he sees his shadow, that means that there's going to be bad weather for the rodeo. So that's what Gopher Day means, in case you didn't know. So let's look at the comments. So I'd like to welcome Leslie Ann and look at her question here. which is how do I get back to the home page if I'm in cities and temperatures? Well, if you're, let me pull up the weather app. So you're in cities and temperatures. So here's a temperature in Cupertino. So what you would do if you have a Face ID phone, I think this answers the question, is you just swipe up and you're back to the home page. Is that what you meant? Let me know, Leslie Ann, if that was your idea. Hello, Judy. Glad to see you here. And Susan says that the air quality is worse than hers, downtown. So that is interesting. So, yeah, I like the analog stopwatch too. Okay, do that again. How to put search on top. Okay, so I would encourage you to try the search on the bottom. I mean, it's different. We don't like change, but it could be handy, especially when you're scrolling. Okay, but if you want to change it, here's how you do it. You go to Settings. You go down to Safari. There's Safari. And you go down to Tabs. So you can see here it's checked on the left, it's at the bottom. You click on the right one, and now it's at the top. So if we swipe up to go back to Safari, and we go to Done, so now you see the search bar is up here at the top. So that's how you do that. So Susan wants to know, could you take a photograph of a PDF and convert it to text so as to get it into Pages? Yes. So the best way to do that would be to scan it, and the easiest way to scan it is to go into Notes, and I'll just show you that. So if we let's see if I can find something that's appropriate to photograph here. Got to rearrange my desk here. Okay, so we're going to go into Notes. And we're going to get a new note by hitting the little square with the pencil in the lower right hand corner. Okay, and now we're going to hit the plus in the lower right hand corner there in the center. And we're going to, okay, let's try this. So you see there where it says paste, there's a little symbol there. And we're going to click on that little symbol, and there I am. So now it's trying to pick out text there, and that's not what you ask. So that's one of the, so you can just take the camera and look at things, and it'll grab stuff. But that is not what you wanted to do. And I don't know why this is not working the way I want it to. So let's go back to iCloud. Let's get a new note. Okay. And I saw the icon for the camera go by there, but it's not showing up. It should be right here in the bottom of the white area. So we hit plus. There it is. Okay, so you see the camera there? We click on the camera and we click on Scan Documents. Okay, so now we're going to scan that document. There it is. Not a great, we're going to save it. And then we can do a long press on it and copy it, and then we can put it into Pages. So hopefully that answers that question. Okay, okay, so do places pay to be on the map? No, I don't believe they do. And okay, so we just talked about that. Leslie Ann says, I meant homepage of the weather app. Okay, so let's go back into the weather app. So, okay, so you're in cities and temperature. So the home page, maybe what you're thinking is you just swipe to get, is this what you mean by the home page, Tucson? So you see now it's partly cloudy. Little clouds floating by. Is that what you mean, Leslie Ann? So it would be just swiping. So here's all the cities I have, and I just got back to Tucson. So hopefully that helps. Okay, you got it. Great. Glad to know that. Okay. Well, hopefully you'll go ahead and upgrade to iOS 15.3 if you haven't already, and try out some of these new features. We're going to be showing you more features and try to explain how they work so that you can take advantage of those. And Susan says, interesting about being able to convert PDFs to text so as to get the info into Pages. I've tried PDF converters but couldn't use them. Okay, well hopefully that'll work for you. Okay, hello, Judy. Okay, so if you haven't already, please subscribe and click on the little bell so you'll be notified when we go live. And share the GoFor Gazette with your friends and family that use Apple devices so we can help more people learn how to do things. And as always, if you have any questions after we finish here, you can always call me or email me, and that information is coming up now. Have a wonderful day.